Good evening. Welcome to Martlet Games. I am Zachary Vaudo, your storyteller for the evening, and this is Ghoul's Night, a limited series V5 run following the unappreciated folk in Kindred Society. We're going to go around and we're going to introduce our players, and then we're going to go ahead and dive right into it, starting with Lex.
I'm Lex. Tonight I will be playing Teddy Theodora Abbott, and I am super jazzed.
Now on to Prince.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, also known as Zipples and Dice around the internet, and I am playing Mac J. Phillips.
Now over to Jay.
Hi there, I'm Jay. I will be playing Nathaniel Weston, and I'm very excited to be here.
And finally, Ty.
Hello, my name is Ty. You can find me Twitter, Instagram, Hey Tyler Gray. I will be playing Cersei Williams, and I'm also really excited to be here for the first time.
Very thrilled to have all of you. For those of you at home, Vampire the Masquerade and World of Darkness games in general, as the name might suggest, contains dark content. Things have the possibility of getting disturbing. On the grittier underbelly side of things, there may be adult themes that come up. It entirely depends on where things go in the game, but we give you this warning ahead of time just so you know to expect any number of things that might make you uncomfortable. If you do find something that makes you uncomfortable, we ask that you pause the game. Don't have to stick around through it. It will be here later when you are ready, and if it's not here, it's on YouTube. This is for your enjoyment, as dark as it may be. Now, shall we play a not vampire game?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
The world as we know it is full of darkness. We share our cities with supernatural entities, beings of magic, forces of nature, and creatures of the night. Yes, forget what you've heard. Vampires exist. They live in your towns, visit your jobs, mingle with you in the night. You may work with one, you may live next door to one, but count yourself lucky if you've never met one. Beneath that human face is a predator, always on the hunt. Yes, vampires rule the night, and humans rule the day. And walking the strange space between these two worlds, both mortal and more, are the ghouls. Servitors of their vampire Domitors, the ghoul is both a silent actor and critical component of Kindred Society, serving as a line to the daylight hours in the modern world. Without them, much of Kindred Society would begin to break down. Under the all-consuming addiction to vitae, the blood of their Domitors that gives them supernatural traits, ghouls work tirelessly to fulfill the wills of their masters, while still often maintaining mortal lives. And like any employee of an unreasonable boss, they're not always thrilled about it. It is 1 p.m. and the four of you are gathered in a nearby brew pub, a brief reprieve from your day of work, both mortal and kindred alike. It's a gathering that you four do regularly, a chance to commiserate with others from similar backgrounds and experiences, trade stories, and gripe freely to those who will understand and relate. Tell us a bit about who's at this table, and what they're up to right now, starting with Teddy.
So Teddy is a very serious looking woman, always immaculately put together, always very expensive looking, always designer. Every time she comes here to meet you, she carefully opens her brand name purse and takes out a wet wipe and wipes down her chair and her side of the table before sitting and ordering a scotch neat in a clean glass.
Germs and disease are not something that kindred or ghouls typically have to worry about, but at this point it's about personal taste. Moving around the table, we've got Mac.
Yeah, so
You've muted.
there we go. Sorry.
Blame the cat.
It really is. So Mac is a nerd. That's the best way to put it. He's probably walking around in a wrestling t-shirt or anime t-shirt or something like that at any given time. Backpack probably comes in here with like a video game system or something like that. And he's constantly trying to find out what you all have been up to because he wants to know the exciting things about supernatural life and vampires every time, because his stories are not that interesting.
Continuing around the table, we have Nathaniel.
Nathaniel is he's generally got a briefcase, which old weathered briefcase full of annotated documents that he's got, and he seems to, whenever you guys have these gatherings, be using it as a social buffer more than anything. When he gets overwhelmed, he generally tends to kind of just bury his face, but you can usually find him sitting like corner of the table so that he doesn't love this, but you can tell that he wants to be part of the social interaction more than anything.
And rounding out the four corners of the table, we have Cersei.
Like Teddy, or actually not like Teddy, complete opposite of Teddy. Cersei is not very put together at all. She always looks kind of like she just threw on some stuff. She was hastily getting together, running late probably, or just running around in general. She's an intern for a art museum, trying to become a curator. So she has a very strict boss in real life that she's trying to constantly please on top of her lovely Domitor. And also a bit of a nerd, as her name kind of shows. Her family was very into Game of Thrones before, you find out some stuff. So she's kind of, I think that she and Mac would like to, Prince would like to probably talk about some nerdy stuff every now and then.
A rather motley crew, one that you might not expect to see all congregating and commiserating, but shared experiences are shared experiences. And this bit of afternoon time is the time that they have to be free of their supernatural responsibilities and just let it out for a bit. At which point I will turn it over to the four of you for your afternoon drinks and bitch fest.
So, anybody been up to anything exciting?
I don't know if you find it exciting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There was some interesting data last week, but I don't think you'd follow it.
I don't really care about data now.
There's a new piece at the museum that I've been looking at. I don't know how into art you are. It's an older collection. We found it in Europe. It's actually like just found. We didn't get it from another museum. It's actually really cool. But we're looking into it. We don't have a name for the artist yet, but I don't know. I think it's really cool.
Is it stolen?
I mean, probably because we steal everything from people.
Fair. That's fair. Makes sense.
Would you call it a collector's item?
I guess we gotta find more information about it. Once we find the artist, I'm sure we, figure out what it's worth and everything. But it's a beautiful piece.
Sculpture, painting, what?
A painting. It's really large. It's like a 12 by 8 piece, kind of like I don't know, very weathered canvas. It's pretty old, but not much information on it. I can't really go into the room because they're restoring it. But it's really nice. I'll let you guys know when it's on exhibit.
Eastern Europe, Western Europe,
Western.
Western.
And as you can't sneak us in there, but could you?
I mean, I can't even sneak in there.
That's so exciting.
But it's pretty. I'll let you know if it's, when they get it out.
Yeah. I mean, I'll come see it, sure. Seems a good idea. Do something different.
And Miss York is always looking to expand her collection.
I am not sure they'd like to sell it. I guess it really just depends on who the artist is, if they're anybody well known. But I'll let you know.
I think it more depends on the price being offered, but we'll see.
Price isn't much of an option for Miss York, is it, Teddy?
No, Miss York's pockets are deep.
As is to be expected of one of her clan.
What about you, Nathaniel? Anything going on?
I have a large pile on the left side of my desk, and I move those books after they're annotated to the right side of my desk, and I slide the annotated notes under the door in the West Wing. It's the same thing I've been doing forever.
And you still won't consider digitizing, not even a little.
I don't think I have an option. I've digitized. I have to print it again and then handwrite it after I've printed it, because apparently digitizing information is the devil.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to go through that one, because that's not fun.
Yeah.
If I hear another thing about one of these people talking about Second Inquisition. Ooh.
Second Inquisition?
Well, I mean, they have been remarkably effective.
People don't know how to use VPNs these days or something? Like, I don't get it.
Yes, I'm sure NordVPN will protect you.
From the NSA? Probably not. But, you know, this is why you always keep moving. You gotta be like Dory. Just keep swimming.
That would be great if you didn't have an entire library to carry around with you.
Shit, that's true.
Or art pieces, or, you know, a business that you can be tied down to. There are a lot of reasons why that's not feasible.
Digital art is becoming pretty popular nowadays. I mean, you
Oh,
can't.
please don't start talking about NFTs.
Oh, God, no.
Okay,
No.
good.
If you know how to flip them right, there's nothing wrong with taking advantage of a situation.
I mean, maybe if there were
Head is
better
exploding
things out there.
already.
You don't have to own real things just to own things.
Says the person who wanted to put a bid on a piece of art before you even know where it came from.
Or what it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Who
pretty,
cares
though.
what it looks like?
So I was trying to like slowly ease my way into this, but I think it like better just like rip the band-aid off. So like, what are you all's experiences with like breaking up with someone?
Breaking up with someone?
Yeah.
You say thank you for a lovely evening, now get out.
I don't think it'll work that way.
I mean, to make things
I've
simple, you could
never
just
had a
pass
problem.
them off to your boss.
Well, that's
what I usually
kinda,
do.
That's kind of the problem.
Elaborate.
Well, me and the boss are together, so breaking up is a little bit more difficult.
Why?
What did you get into?
I second both of those questions.
It's complicated.
I feel like there's a number one rule of don't date your boss, and that probably goes when they're who they are. Even more so. You don't just get fired, you get probably killed.
Also,
I didn't know
why?
that at the time.
That's
All right. Is this like a from the beginning thing, or did this blossom and develop? Like, is your relationship predicated upon the notion that you two are together, or was this a developing thing?
Okay, so like my understanding, what she's told me, is I probably wouldn't know the difference. However, I do remember that we dated before I got, you know, the serum. She's so boring. She's so boring. I just want to go do something fun, do adventures and shit.
You have all of your daytime hours to do fun things.
And you're sitting in here with us. Is that a lack of inventiveness or?
Only boring people are bored.
Well, I have a certain responsibility to protect.
Not to mention the laundry list, both figurative and literal, of mundane tasks that you need to do, being not just Ghoul, but boyfriend to your Domitor. Literal laundry, errands. Sometimes she'll need help with some of her night ventures that you need to handle in the daytime. She keeps you surprisingly busy for someone who doesn't do a whole lot.
I've read so many books, oh my god, on so many boring things.
What clan did you say she was again?
I don't think that matters that much, all things considered.
I don't know.
I think that matters a great, great deal, in fact.
I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Well, I don't imagine you're supposed to talk about dumping her either, but here we are.
Touche.
I'm just
And
saying,
you've already
that
gone this far, so,
might factor in on the boringness. I don't know. Are there boring clans?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
100%.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if this is like a thing. I think she just doesn't want to get eaten. Does that give you any hints? Maybe just a little bit.
I think that sent my brain in the wrong direction. What are you talking about?
Okay. Think third eye.
She's a spiritual kind of person. Very into
Wait,
chakras and.
Nathaniel, go ahead and make a wits occult roll for me.
I was going to ask about that, actually.
Anybody can make this roll, but Nathaniel in particular needs to make this roll.
What was the roll again?
Wits occult.
That would be 4 successes. Three successes.
3 and 1.
Eh.
Right. Nathaniel, you know this clan by description very easily, given the history of your Domitor. And
hence the scowl. I was definitely like,
mm-hmm.
I'm assuming this isn't something that's come up in conversation before.
It has not. And moreover, it's not something that you ever expected to not only come up in conversation, but pop up anywhere around this city. It's a very rare circumstance in modern nights. Teddy, you still think it's something to do with the spiritual thing?
Yeah, I don't get this chakra crystal thing.
Neither does Cersei.
So yeah, well, Nathaniel definitely kind of sits back in his chair a little more and buries himself in his books and sort of disconnects.
And we've lost Nathaniel.
I'm having a hard time contemplating a situation in which you actually would make that choice. You're not a boyfriend. You understand that, right? You are a cat. You are a plaything. You are a thing that hangs out in the house and provides a service. You're somewhere between a cat and like the help.
Excuse you, I am a well-paid employee.
You're extremely
and an
well-paid.
Integral member of the team.
You are also not considered to be on the same level, and I think you know that.
It's how all companies work.
I'm not going to get into another one of these conversations with you, but
yeah, this is, y'all can handle that how you will. I was hoping for some, like, maybe a little bit of a relationship advice, perhaps.
Well, if you'd come to us sooner, I feel like we probably could have approached this better. I mean, it's kind of a horse has left the stable situation. You might be beyond screwed. Let's look at it this way. I mean, you know how most couples, there's cookies and there's presents and so on and so forth. In this case, there's literal, actual, like, emotional manipulation taking place. I mean, you're stuck.
Yeah.
There's no way out.
Did tell me that part. It's not like a secret, but I don't know if that's like, if my feelings are real or not, because
they're not.
2 months in, I was like, yay, this is great. And that was before I got turned. And then it's like after all that stuff, and I'm like, is it still those feelings, the little new relationship energy thing, still the same? I don't know.
It's not. You are literally being emotionally, and like it's the same thing as if you have a newborn baby. You're literally being nice chemically controlled,
which is really nice. I mean, I have to do boring stuff, but like, he's nice about it. It's not like, hey, Mac, you have to do this thing. It's more like, Mac, can you do this thing for me? I'm like, sure.
Try saying no and see how quickly that turns.
Huh.
You could ask for a break or a trial separation. See how she felt about that.
I'm sure she'd find you delicious.
No has been
she
kind
might
of
find
difficult.
It very amusing.
No has been kind of difficult for you, Mac, hasn't it?
Yeah. I don't really do know.
Not quite sure why it's been difficult, but this is probably the first time it's crossed your mind now that it's actually been laid out in front of you.
Look, like it or not, you signed a contract. You agreed to do this, and it sounds like you tried to go into it with eyes semi-open anyway.
She was trying to do a nice thing for me. Like, that's what she told me. And it worked. I had leukemia. I don't have leukemia now.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Well, then there's your devil's bargain. So just do her damn laundry and try to keep it professional. Because if you don't, you're, food.
Does she need the romantic attachment? I mean, you say you're her boyfriend. Could you still work for her? Fulfill your end of the deal, servicing all of that, then just leave behind the romantic attachment.
But don't tell her that if that's what she wants.
Make her think it's her idea if you're going to do that. That you're going to still uphold your end of the bargain, but you don't want to put upon her with this relationship. She's so busy. She's so important. Surely her time could be better spent.
You write this down for me because I'm definitely going to forget.
The real question before you go into this is whether or not you value being true to yourself and your ethics, or whether you value being alive. Once you answer that question, the rest kind of follows.
It's way more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Somebody else take the table. This is a lot.
Relationships are always complicated. That's why you tell them to get out in the morning.
That seems rude.
It is, but they leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'd listen to them. I don't really have that kind of experience.
Read books on this. That's usually not suggested unless you're in a particular kind of dynamic.
Well, I mean, when the option is that they don't live anymore or they get to leave immediately, which one's preferable, really?
I also don't think that there's going to be many books on our particular situation.
Yeah, no one really wrote The Secret for us.
Yeah, I've been told by some people that this is somewhat unique. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really have a lot of experience being a vampire's boyfriend.
Yeah, most people don't, because they don't do that. Usually they do it because they want something from you. And I really don't think that this person has the coping skills to understand that, what they really want is a manservant.
Sweet. Great. Awesome. Yeah.
Straight goods. Sorry. It's kind of what I do.
I appreciate the honesty. I just, yeah. I don't know if that really this helped me necessarily, but I have more opinions to draw from when decision-making time happens, or if decision-making can actually happen.
If you really want out, you're going to have to do unto others before they do unto you.
Yes, could you arrange a replacement for yourself, perhaps?
I asked her if she could just turn me. It'd be way less complicated then.
No, that would get really complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you think about our bond, that's one thing, but a sire and a child, like...
She said it to make her less human. I don't know if there's a scale to these things. I feel pretty human.
Yeah, I mean, if you could turn or not. I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, so
and survival.
Yeah, surviving is pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about something that's not my complicated. Maybe I'll get eaten, maybe I won't. As I try to break up relationship, maybe.
How'd you two meet? Where's she from?
Okay, so she's old, from my understanding. She's been here since before people were here. I mean, at least people that look like you.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, she's native.
That is very, very old. Very powerful.
And apparently her thing is helping people. So that's kind of what we team up and do. Like,
Excuse me.
I've been to so many Ronald McDonald houses and donated so much money and resources and time.
Wait, actually?
Yeah. That's kind of what our shtick is. She likes healing people.
Well, I mean, you know what they say. It's often the most noble people who have something really sinister to hide. Not saying that for any particular reason. I'm just putting that out there.
Try framing your breakup as a positive thing then. It would help with the healing process if you had some time to yourself. Appeal to her healer ego?
That could be good. I could try that, yeah.
I mean, all doctors have god complexes. Just play to hers.
I mean, and if she's helping people, humans, at that, she must have some sort of, pull to her humanity. Appeal to that.
Okay, I'll try it. I have to, hype myself up for this for a little while.
And if it doesn't work, it was really nice knowing you.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah.
Teddy, your phone buzzes. It's a calendar.
Teddy immediately disconnects from the conversation, all attention to the phone.
It's just a calendar reminder. You have a couple of people you have to meet up with and field for your Domitor before she wakes this evening. And it's just reminding you you're about an hour out from the first meeting.
Okay. Well, this has been lovely as always, but I'm going to go ahead and get the check over here so we can move this along.
Is it my turn or your turn?
Oh, it's probably your turn.
It's probably my turn. Well, go ahead.
And Teddy snaps the waiter's attention, which cringes Alex on the inside.
I really wish you wouldn't do that, considering you're basically a waiter yourself.
Oh.
If they don't want to be snapped at, they shouldn't work in the service industry.
You have absolutely no grasp of irony, do you? Like zero. Zilch.
If they want to raise their station in life, then they should have gone to school and gotten a good job like those of us who were smart enough to do it that way.
Holy hell.
I waited tables in college.
I worked at a CVS.
Yes, we all did our time in the retail hell, and then we moved on like adults.
You know, I think you're a little bit disconnected from, like, the real world.
I live in the real world. They live in a world of children.
The waiter comes over, just looks at the table, confused at the snapping.
I apologize for her.
We all
Yes, we're waiting
apologize
for
her.
our check.
Oh, great. Together, separate?
Together.
Great. And they depart to retrieve that.
And the company card goes down on the table. So, what does everyone have going on for today after all of this?
Meetings.
I actually don't have anything for once. It's kind of free night.
How about you, Mac?
I don't know. Lord knows I'll probably end up with a text that says, go pick up a book on the history of tumors or something.
I've got books on that if you want. Medical information, all of that sort of thing. You ever need a resource, let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I don't end up dead.
I can tag along if you want. If you need some company.
You want to come with?
I was for Mac.
Oh.
He's just seems a little down in the dumps. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I don't have to.
No, it's good.
I don't want to make her jealous.
I don't really think she does jealousy.
Great.
What are your plans for tonight, Nathaniel, other than moving paperwork from the right side to the left side?
Left side to right side, but I mean, basically that.
Nathaniel, you do have one task in addition to all of your paper moving. It's about that time when another round of undergrads needs to probably swing by.
Yeah, it's probably about that time. I do have to run at least one errand at the university, but it's one of those kind of communal things. Remember when I was saying before that we should be pooling our resources on, let's call it resource allocation, making sure that we all get enough to get by.
Socialism.
Not non-fiscally.
Get it.
I think I get it. Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know I've said it before, but if we all pool our resources to accumulate from a pool, then disappearances become less noticeable, and people, in general, we can figure out ways to make sure that our behavior isn't tracked. Because if we're all pulling from the same source, then, well, eventually that'll dry up violently.
I mean,
it's a good idea.
The off chance that you have to deal with a body, I mean, there are ways to make them, dissolve.
Yes, I'm aware.
But
No, I'm talking about the procurement of those non-fiscal resources more than anything else, largely because we all have to fish in ponds of our social circles, and that's the whole, to coin of an inappropriate phrase, shitting where we eat.
So you don't do animals?
What?
That's disgusting.
What?
No, we
not do animals, but I mean like your Domitor doesn't do like
yours does.
What?
It is it like a goat preference? Maybe.
Here, mostly. Is that weird?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, extremely weird and
Vegetarian.
gross.
She's
Still.
really serious about the whole wanting to be more human thing.
I guess if you've been around that long.
I mean, also humans don't you usually don't find cocktails made from deer's blood in the pub menu. I'm just saying.
No. I mean, it's not exactly hard to, find an animal.
No, but I mean, it's not actually trying to be human. Come on.
It's just trying to be slightly less normal. Is this some kind of hipster thing she does?
I think she was around before hipsters, so
That's the most hipster thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, actually.
The waiter has gone, and come back again in the span of this conversation without anybody even noticing. At this point, the check and the card are back on the table.
Thank you.
Well, that's very interesting, to say the least. Really, dear?
Yeah. How have we
Was
never
like a
talked
clan
about this
thing or
before?
a her thing?
I tend to try to avoid talking about her because she doesn't particularly like it.
But now that you're going to dump her, it's all right for us to gossip, yes?
Well, I needed advice, and I was hoping y'all would help.
And since we were so helpful, we get to hear the gossip. I understand.
I legit did not know this was a weird thing.
We should.
I mean, I know the most, people, but doesn't seem that weird.
I mean this in no disrespect, but you're right on the boring thing. Could I actually, Nathaniel, do you mind if I check out this undergrad thing? That just sounds much more. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just a little taken back by the deer thing. I'm just.
I tend to agree. On the deer note, I have things that I need to do that are not this.
Yeah. Why don't you can come along. I have a class that I teach once a week, and that's usually where I pull from.
Guess everyone will dearly depart from me.
That you can come too if you want. I mean, honestly, I want to maybe have a little bit more of a chat with you, find out if you're doing okay. I'm honestly starting to wonder, I still am flabbergasted that we've never actually managed to have this conversation. And there are some things that you can do to get out from under thumbs.
Like going back and forth about, like, do we get it all? Like, is this a good idea? Should I
all right,
up with my girlfriend?
Come with me to class, and like maybe we'll just have a little field trip here. We'll get what we need to get, and then we'll have this conversation in the car. Sound good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Have fun, Teddy.
You as well. Enjoy class.
Be nice to people, or at least try.
No, thank you.
See, that's the start. You said thank you.
I really don't think there's any changing her at this point.
Doesn't mean you should stop trying.
So Teddy is off to complete her to-do list at York Foundation, while the other three of you are all pooling together to follow Nathaniel on his nightly errand. We'll start with Teddy. That way we can we'll let the group come in a little bit later. Teddy, you do make it back to the York Foundation building. It's a rather central building, all things considered. Very easy to see. The sign out front is borderline ostentatious, but nothing that's really bothered you too much. You settle in and you look over the to-do list of who you have to meet up with, who you have to talk to. Some of them mortal, some of them not. You probably have time to meet a few of them before Carlotta wakes up for the evening. So it comes down to if you want to shuffle people around or if you just want to burn through it as fast as you can. But your first one will be here shortly. Is there anything you'd like to do in the meantime?
No. Teddy does her regular, check over Carlotta's plans for the day. That way I can prioritize anything she'd need over anything that can be pushed till tomorrow or later. And of course, anyone who's not mortal is gonna have to wait till she's up anyway.
Too true.
Hopefully.
Your first meeting, though, is, well, not quite mortal. It's another one of you. Another ghoul of the same Ventru clan. It's almost like looking in a mirror at this point. It's the same power suit and squared glasses. The much shorter cropped hair, though, but all business as she comes in. Yes, I'm supposed to have a meeting with Carlotta York.
I'll be taking Miss York's meeting today. Have a seat.
Great. Hi, I'm Nancy.
It's nice to meet you, Nancy. I'm Teddy.
Nice to meet you as well. I assume then that you've been given, we'll call it leeway, to finalize agreements, or is this going to be just another come back later after we talk things over sort of deal?
Yes, Nancy, I'm fully authorized for anything we might need to handle this evening.
Wonderful. Great. Great. And she starts digging through her briefcase and pulling out folders, seeming a little bit disorganized as she shuffles things through. So we are looking to move Mr. Mendelssohn's assets through the York Foundation. It's one of those once every 50 years sort of things. Keep the money clean, as I'm sure you're aware. We're trying to figure out the right way to position this as a grant that we can reobtain at a later date. Was wondering if you had any input on that.
Well, it's often easy to move it into charitable donations. Scholarships are also an excellent way to keep things in the family.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Give to the less fortunate.
Yes, one of our favorite foundations around here is, of course, TBD, and then you just fill in the family name to the paperwork later.
TBD, is that a prolific foundation?
To be determined is something many people know of.
Oh, I thought it was something in philanthropy.
Well, that's certainly how you phrase it on the paperwork, Nancy.
Understandable. She starts flipping through to pull out the right paperwork. So, have you been working with Miss York long? With extra emphasis on the word working.
A little while now, going on about a decade.
Decade? So you're a bit new to the cut.
Not if my work's anything to judge me by.
Fair. I'm going on my 6th decade at this point with Mr. Mendelsohn. Though I'm sure Miss York has her reasons for getting the new blood in.
Yes, well, it's important to stay on top of the newest technologies and the newest degrees out there.
What did Miss York acquire you for if it's beyond just technologies and degrees?
What do you mean?
Well, you have to have a purpose, right? We all have a purpose. It's not like, it's not like the gangrel who just pull whatever hiker out of the woods and say, you're mine now. We have a corporate structure. We've got a hierarchy. We all have a place in the machine. So I know mine. I was curious as to yours.
I handle Miss York's personal and financial affairs. I run the day-to-day operations of the York Foundation. I'm in charge of all upcoming and incoming interns, onboarding and offloading them.
No, that's a job description. Why you?
Because I'm the best at what I do.
Is that an objective statement?
Yes.
How did Miss York get you then, before anybody else?
The York Foundation is well known as a springboard into an influential career in the stock market, in other corporations. It's a phenomenal opportunity for the right person.
Phenomenal opportunity. Probably not the opportunity you were expecting, but still sort of grab the bull by the horns, as it were.
It has turned into an opportunity of a different color, is how I like to look at it.
Rose-colored glasses, while not our deal, are good, nevertheless. How do you feel about continuing the springboard analogy?
I feel fine about it. Elaborate, Nancy.
I'm here for a bit more than just moving funds around. I also work in acquisitions for Mr. Mendelsohn. Mostly talent. Mostly talent, and, well, I'll have to admit I didn't come in here not knowing who you were off the bat. I like to hear people speak it for themselves. So, before we approach with a more formal contract and formal discussion, I wanted to do a bit of headhunting and see what you thought about it. If you thought you might have better prospects outside of the York Foundation. Better long-term prospects.
I will admit I have been a little focused solely on the York Foundation for the last few years, but I am always open to negotiations.
Oh, Mr. Mendelsohn has been in this city for quite some time. very established, both corporately and courtly. Though I'm not sure how much you get out and about to those deals. Have you been to Elysium?
Once. A few years ago.
Well, it may have slipped by you then, but there's a status to the name, and there's a shiny look to people that are attached to it.
Well, Nancy, if you were to get me some sort of contract or paperwork, some sort of offer I could look over, I would not be opposed to that.
Absolutely. Of course, we'll have to go through the usual graces. I imagine there's going to be boon exchanges and whatnot. It's not every day that you release one of your own into the wild or to another's hands. But call me a soft heart sentimental. I like to check with the people that I'm talking to and considering, rather than just going top to top.
I can appreciate that. There's a personal touch this kind of business requires if you want to do it right.
That there is. Well, on that note, I think, and she puts a couple of folders on the table, that these assets are what we'd like to present to Miss York for your TBD charity. And we will be back in touch with other business opportunities.
I look forward to it. Thank you for coming in today, Nancy.
You as well, having me. And should you find yourself a bit more eager, my number is at the top of the page.
And Teddy extends a firm business handshake to her.
And it is equally returned. You're welcome to make some kind of strength brawl roll if you want to, but it's a pretty even match shake.
No. Be an etiquette roll, if anything. Brawl and etiquette.
And Nancy stands and leaves, giving you some opportunities to roll over in your head.
Maybe Mac's not the only one planning a breakup this week. Snapped the paper together.
Back over to Mac and Nathaniel and Cersei. You're all riding in Nathaniel's car as he heads towards the university in whatever configuration you want, whether it's Nathaniel up front as the chauffeur or somebody in the back being the awkward third seat.
I'll take it back.
Nathaniel's driving, so...
of course.
Yeah.
Cersei will be in the back in the middle.
Nice. So we head towards the university, and about 3/4 of the way there, Nathaniel stops and pulls over in a parking lot that you can tell he was driving specifically to. And he just turns and says, "Okay, listen. Before, when we were talking about this stuff, we kept it kind of surface level, but it's become really clear to me that you haven't been given the full scope and picture of information about who you are and why you're here and all of that sort of thing. And I think there are a lot of Domitors that allow that ignorance to flourish because it means that they maintain control. And the one way that we can take it back is to be informed and to understand exactly what's going on. So in the interest of us continuing to work together, I feel like I should make myself available to you as a resource of information, because you are, not to sugarcoat, you're woefully unprepared for this world."
That seems so freaking cool.
I will not dispute that. Don't. They're very secretive. So,
I've read
more information is very helpful.
One time I read this book called Book of Nod. It's really weird, really interesting though.
Wait. Okay, are we talking like a library copy of something, or are you talking like an original? No,
Miss Original is old. He tells me a lot of stuff. I just don't.
What was it about?
Vampire religion, I guess. And
vampires have religion?
Yeah.
Zach, just to clarify here, with an Academics 4, Occult 3.
You know exactly what this book is.
Okay, all right, cool. I'm just double checking as far as the lores are concerned before I.
It carries a legacy with it. Everybody in the car here, you have to be pretty out of touch with Kindred Society to not have heard of this name, much less know what's in it.
It's a Kindred religious text with. It's apocryphal in nature, but it's fundamental to the formation of really all of the societies that we are now, by hook or by crook, a part of. You don't happen to have regular access to it, do you?
Potentially, we shouldn't really keep things locked up away from me.
Okay, cards on the table. I'd be willing to pay a lot for a glance at that.
I have to think about that one. That sounds potentially dangerous.
I also
maybe more dangerous than breaking up based on what I know about stuff.
Fair enough.
Anna likes to just lore dump me. It's really weird, but it's really cool though. There's a bunch of cool history. Apparently, the person Salute or whoever, it's nom noms, and I'm supposed to be pretty delicious. Apparently, there's a bunch of really weird Kindred history.
You say that she's boring, but I mean, this sounds. You have unlimited access to a library, an ancient.
Read though. It's just reading. We don't go places.
I will help you diversify your workload here. I mean, I have a background in archiving and information and data. I can do that a lot faster, and I have a suspicion that you've probably got strengths in other fields that could help me that I'm not particularly good at. I
chemistry?
feel like chemistry?
Yeah.
Is that your background?
Yeah.
Hell yes. I have uses for that. If you want to share the workload, I feel like we could do it a lot more efficiently.
I mean, part of the reason I met Chano was because I was studying how pipelines and waterways work.
Interesting.
Real protective of tribes. Real protective. Tribal land.
Okay. Interesting.
She'll kill a bitch.
So
I haven't seen violence like that except in those particular situations.
So we don't introduce her to Teddy. Fair enough.
Yeah, that might be dangerous.
Yeah. But if let's just say theoretically I were able to get a glance at this text, or even maybe have permission to ask your girlfriend?
Yeah, I can
boss,
introduce you to
girlfriend.
For sure.
I feel like I could maybe help you with the breakup side of things. I feel like those two could go hand in hand.
Okay. Yeah.
I am also an art curator, will be still. I'm sure she has loads that she might need help with.
Okay, I mean, if y'all meet her though, y'all do have to avoid staring, because I'm not saying she's sensitive about it, but she doesn't particularly like it, and when she's at home, she doesn't really rock the headband like that.
So it's actually there on.
It's literally an eye, right here. Just
wow. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
I've seen it bleed. That's really weird. She's still hot, but bleeding eye in the forehead.
It bleeds?
Yeah, sometimes.
Is any of this new information making more sense to me about what
Let's take a look. Go ahead and make intelligence occult this time.
Remind me, die. How many die?
You add the number of intelligence and plus the number of occult and total dice. And anything 6 and above, but 6 to 10 is a success.
Cool. 3.
Yeah, this very, very descriptive picture that Mac has painted pretty well solidifies that his Domitor is from the Salubri clan, which is a clan that, for all intents and purposes, with a few exceptions, is extinct as far as Kindred Society knows. Having one about is rare. Having one with their own ghoul, more rare.
Yes, listen, 2 people were, if I don't know you like the best, Nathaniel, but like we seem to be pretty well versed in our own jobs, and I don't know, I think we can really help out. I'd love to hear. For your sake, and also, just because I love history and art.
Well, let's do this thing. We seem to all roll in the periphery or directly within academia. I think we could definitely help each other. I think it's going to be harder to get Roosevelt to come around.
Don't let her hear you say that.
It's kind of a running nickname. She hates it.
I like it. I think the nerd hurt would like it too.
So more about your task, Nathaniel. What should we expect, I guess?
So if you're all right with freewheeling a bit, I think I might have you come in as as an art history innovator or somebody who is responsible for curating collections. We're doing the formation and dissemination of medieval art in one of the classes that I'm teaching, history. And actually, the reason I was asking if it was Eastern or Western European is because the Eastern dissolution of art structure during the Second World War is actually one of the things that we're focused on this semester. So, so that's
exciting.
Yeah. So I figure you can come in and maybe freewheel a little bit on what it is that you're doing, whatever you can actually talk about, and then we select a few failing students, and we tell them that the university offers private tutoring, and then, we let our bosses eat them. My preference is for poor students, but that's a personal one, and there are limitations, and it can be bent. But it's been an exceptional resource because I usually find that poor students tend to also not have a lot of connections already.
Very true. And no one at the university questions missing students?
People drop out all the time, especially if they've received disciplinary reviews from their professors. And we make sure that happens before they disappear.
Very smart. Well, let's go then.
All right, let's do it.
I think that's a good place to take a bit of a break. So we're going to let our players unwind, relax, rehydrate, etc. We're going to let you at home do the same thing. And we'll be back in just a bit with more outings and activities of our Ghouls of the Night. See you shortly. Ghouls Night, where we explore the underappreciated understudies of Kindred Society. Where last we left off, Nathaniel had taken Cersei and Mac over to the local university where he is teaching, hanging about, and finding food for his Domitor. We're going to pick back up there. Nathaniel, you have arrived with the others and you've gone to the classroom. We'll let you take it from there as the students are filed in, waiting for the professor to come in. There's nothing new about this for them.
Sounds good. So Nathaniel will just kind of prep Cersei ahead of time and basically just be like, okay, so I'm going to ask you in after about half an hour of class. We usually break early on Wednesdays. So basically we're going to I'm going to give them a rundown on lost pieces of art and the difference between a heist and a displacement, more or less things that are lost during war or during revolution or during times of drought when they get drought and famine when they get sold off, revolutionary pieces in Western Europe specifically. And then if I'm sure you've got some context bits for like pieces that have been lost and found over the years, stuff like that, we can kind of spitball it, but contextual stuff about what you do. And then we'll adjourn to my office with a couple students. We can split the winnings.
Right. I don't. Just for warning, I don't talk in front of people a lot. I will do my best.
All right. It's totally fine. It's better to just go for it. And honestly, it's one of those life experience things that everyone should do. Should get up and speak in front of people every once in a while. So, and honestly, if you bomb, it doesn't matter. My class is horribly reviewed.
That's a point of pride.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
it's part of the cover, honestly. So,
I mean, people told me to just imagine everyone naked. That didn't really do it for me. So I imagined everybody as Mickey Mouse, and it was fucking hilarious.
That sounds terrifying. Like just all of them as Mickey Mouse, just like gloves and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure I'll get into the real rhythm of it once I'm talking about something I enjoy.
Yeah, no, just get up there and be passionate. It's nice. It's easy. You'll be fine. So yeah, he goes in, and then I guess we can kind of cut because I'm not going to do a half hour class. Yeah.
Go ahead and we'll have you go ahead and make we'll call it charisma and academics roll just to see how the class goes in the meantime.
Sounds good. This isn't kindred history, so it does not factor into my specialization. 3 successes ain't bad.
Yeah, it's not your worst class. It's definitely not your best class, but the information definitely comes across.
Yeah.
They're interested. They're very interested in the strange girl that is up in front but off to the side with you. They keep looking over at her instead of listening to you because it's frankly more interesting. But nevertheless, it's still working out.
All right. Sounds good. So yeah, ending with the class largely focuses on art theft versus displacement, ending with the concert by Johannes Vermeer. And it's an ambitious scene of a man and 2 women performing music. And the art heist that took place in the 90s. And what's unusual about this heist is that it was by one person as opposed to a group. Most art thieves are groups of people. And there are many, many lost pieces of art across the world that have to this day never been recovered. There are missing Picassos. There are missing a large number of those just waiting to be found in private collections, fakes that stand in for reals. And today we have actually someone with us here. This is Cersei Williams, and they are responsible for discovering and restoring pieces of art as it relates to discovering authenticity and displaced works. Why don't you come on up and give us a little rundown of what you do, Cersei?
Thank you. And so she'll get up and it's very clear that she does not do this very often. She needs to practice because, as a curator, they do talk pretty often to lots of people. Hi, so I'm Cersei Williams, and I'm an intern to be a curator at our local museum. I'm not sure if you've been or if you enjoy it. You might, because you're in this class.
There's a couple of sporadic nods.
Anyway, so art theft. My job, or what will largely be my job, is to examine and look for pieces to put into the museum. We, of course, like to have authentic pieces. Sometimes that can be pretty difficult in the art world. As he said, there are fakes that do get spread around. There are also largely stolen pieces. Take it from not too long ago. The Rubin Museum actually just returned some Nepalese pieces that were stolen long ago, and which is really nice that the museum is doing that. Not all museums have that integrity, unfortunately. So it is really up to the curator to get the most authentic pieces possible and make sure that they are not stolen previously. And she'll go on and on and on. And I'm not sure how much you want me to talk about this.
Question in the back for you.
Yeah, one student
yes.
towards the back raising a hand, and they're kind of reclined back in the chair, but they go, how do you differentiate between art pieces that were stolen as an art heist and art that was just, taken from a culture for a museum?
A great question. It depends on the curator. Back in the day, many curators kind of just thought to have the best pieces in their museums. A lot of times, investigations wouldn't really go on. It is a crime, of course, to, steal art.
But stealing was normal.
Yes. A lot of our museums in the world, unfortunately, are full of stolen artifacts. When we are given permission from the culture, we can keep them. It's what I like to do, or what I will do when it is largely my sole position. Can't do really much as an intern right now, but I would like to investigate a little bit further back. Whoever I'm getting it from, ask them who they got it from, and then who they got it from. It's all about the research and really understanding where that piece came from. Recently, the museum has procured a piece of art, a very large piece of art that was found in a trash can, and kind of sounds suspicious. What our job is to do is just to figure out why it ended up in that, bin, which is a little hard, so.
Maybe they didn't like the art.
It's a beautiful piece. I don't know why anybody, but So that's probably stolen, but it is our job to research and figure out and reach out to other museums and collectors and see, if there's, if we can pinpoint the artist and, yeah.
There's a couple of nods. The student in question doesn't seem particularly convinced, but is going along with it.
And we're not gonna get drawn into another philosophical conversation about how all art appropriation is theft by museums. I know there are a few philosophy majors in here who are going to be sighing about not getting to grill our new subject about that particular chestnut. But thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause for Cersei for coming in and speaking to us today.
There's There's a general applause. It's not like enthusiastic. It's pretty much students that were asked by a teacher to give a round of applause for a guest level of clapping. And people start like gathering their stuff.
And I want to kind of single out the guy who I'm assuming he's not an all-star student, the one who said maybe they just didn't like the art.
He sure thinks he is.
He sure thinks. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Mac and Stevens, I want to see you in class or in my office after class if you can, please.
There's eye rolling, but they get up and they head down to meet up in towards the door, but like near you as everybody else is filing out.
All right. Tomorrow we will be discussing the curator position, and we'll be carrying on and expounding in the roles that it has historically served as art curation has grown as a discipline. Yeah. Have a good Wednesday. What day is it today? Have a good day.
And the students that you singled out are waiting for you by the time the room clears.
Perfect. And so I'll sit down at the desk. It's probably unusual to have the guest speaker in the room, but I'll invite Cersei in if you want to come along.
Sure. Just stand in the corner.
All right. Mac, are you? Because I imagine you kind of have been hanging.
Yeah, Mac.
out.
What have you been up to?
Yeah, what have you been up to through this? You're welcome to sit in class. Like we could have seated you in.
Oh yes, Mac would have started off in class.
Okay, cool.
But then he would have left. It would have been that, you see the person take their laptop, put it back in the bag, grab the backpack, water bottle, kind of creep out of class. They think they're sneaking, but not really.
No. You always see that guy.
We'll pick back up with Mac in just a little bit.
Okay.
And Nathaniel, you've got your students' attention for now.
All right. So I won't mince words on this. You guys aren't my all-star students. Let's be real here. Imagine it's a life obligation thing. I imagine split attention.
Art history's not the most interesting, and I need it for credits.
Need it for credits. Okay, cool. If you want to pass though and get the credit, then you need to pull up your bootstraps. Like, I mean, midterms were not that great.
Okay.
So there's a class with a museum curator that I occasionally suggest that people go to, and it's worth extra credit. It's enough for you to salvage what I'm sure is going to be a low D at this point. And if you want to pull that up to a C so that the credits are worth a damn, it's probably a good idea for you to attend.
They exchange a look and say, sure, when?
Well, it'll be tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at this address. Slide it across. It's like, it probably for locals, it's probably known as like kind of a spoopy mansion on a hill, but it regularly entertains for that kind of thing.
And they look at the address, like they punch it into Google, like they like pull it up on Google Maps, and they go, "Who is it? The Crypt Keeper?"
He's a bit of a recluse, but definitely the kind of person who, if you want to get into academia, it's worth knowing. It's forging connections is the most important aspect of academia, and it's how you get tenure, and it's how you get to tell people that they're underperforming in your class. It's a masturbatory circle where one day you will get to work in academia and you'll get to do what I do and be horrendously unfulfilled by people who don't give a shit about your class too.
It's great. It's a great time. You learn a lot.
I was about to actually have Nathaniel make a roll, but with the added like verification from this newcomer, they go, "Yeah, what time?"
Let's say 7:30. I can probably have him ready to speak by that point.
Sure. So yeah. Okay. Do we bring back I don't know, a pamphlet, or are you going to be there?
I'll be there. But yeah, okay. Bring your notebooks and just open minds. Be ready to learn.
Sure.
All right.
Sounds great. You can tell it does not sound great.
It does not sound great. The look that Nathaniel gives back, he's like, sure, yeah, no, this doesn't sound great for anybody.
And they depart your classroom, leaving just you and Cersei and a notably absent Mac.
Yeah.
Absence of Mac, I should say.
Do you see where he slipped off to?
I really honestly wasn't paying attention.
I'll text him.
Yeah. So, do you want the tall one or the skinny one?
Tall.
Perfect. Great. I'm assuming you have a means by which to transport them from there to elsewhere and a way to control them.
Oh God, do I have a way to control them?
You do, Cersei.
Yes.
You've got a couple of ways to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
On top of it.
How do you usually do this?
It really depends. My Domitor likes like bars, just kind of the casual. She's very pretty. She uses that.
She carouses.
Yeah.
Mostly. I'm sure she'll prefer Uber Eats.
Yeah, no, this is a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a perfect way to do it. And honestly, most of the time it goes off without a hitch.
She's been pretty busy lately, so having me bring dinner directly to her will probably make her very happy.
Good. In my long career working for these people, the best thing you can do is ingratiate yourself, but the worst thing you can do is establish a pattern of ingratiation. It's a give and take. You're pulling a rope, and if they get too used to having you doing things for them, then they make you indispensable, and then you do this forever.
Yeah, can definitely see how that goes. I mean, Teddy's been doing it for how long?
Yeah, Teddy was who I was thinking about when I said that. We should go find Mac.
I'll check my phone to see if he texted back.
All right.
Mac, where are you and what did you text?
First I would have text Chana, so just an FYI, I may have sorta kinda a little bit broke her NDA, but we'll talk about that later. I hope you're doing well. If you need anything from me, just let me know. And then I text my group chat of the Nerd Herd, Ed, Tommy, and David, and say, Smash Bros tonight? I'm about to light y'all asses on fire.
Kana is not awake at the moment, so she'll see that in a bit, but your friends are awake and they are absolutely down to kick your ass and smash.
And I text Cersei back sorry, I'm sure you were great. That's not the topic for me. Also, the stuff y'all are doing kind of freaks me out a little bit, so I needed to, extricate myself.
No location?
No.
So I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that he was uncomfortable with the arrangement.
Perhaps, or
I think you made it pretty clear in the text message. Yeah, that wasn't.
It's up to them.
How you interpret it, yeah.
It's up to them if they want to interpret it that way to Nathaniel, but yes.
Yeah, I don't think this was really for him or her.
There are definitely some realities that Mac is going to have to figure out before they come and aggressively find him. I'm concerned about him, to be honest.
They being...
You mean the realities of the life that we're living?
Yes.
Because I've had people within my social circles, let's say, I didn't always only provide for one. This is the easy version of my job. A little short time ago, I was providing for a large group, and we'll talk about that later, but I've had people spend time trying to go vegan, and it never ends well, and it usually ends in me having to figure out how to dissolve corpses. And when that eventually does happen, I suspect Mac is going to be in over his head and get him or his boss killed.
Well, the least we could do as friends is offer the hand. And at that, Cersei will text him, "Sounds good. Let me know if you need any more advice. I'd love to help."
With that, we'll cut over to Mac receiving this text message as he is arrived with his friends.
Yeah, I suspect this is at Mac's place, because he has a place away from Chana as well.
Oh, yeah.
And, he has a big gaming room, essentially. One part of it is a giant table where they are building a scale model of Neverwinter from Dungeons and Dragons. It's a custom Lego set, essentially, but they've all been working on it because they're a bunch of nerdy engineers. And so he's like talking to the group, making small talk, and he's like, okay, so, how's the wife, kids, yada, yada, yada. It's like, so, a question, and, Dave, you real stag, but, like, any of y'all consider, divorce ever? Like, what would that be like?
You're muted.
Zach, you're muted.
Oh, thank you. It happens. I think Ed is the only one that looks over as he's already died on the board, and everybody else is still up with their characters, like button mashing at that point. And he goes, I mean, once, maybe like in the past, I don't know, like what do you? You're not married though. Like, what are you talking about, divorce?
I don't know. I'm just like. Breakups, I guess. Like, how do you deal with breakups? Like, because I think of it kind of scientifically, at least I try to, and think of like the way to make this as clean as possible and not messy. But people don't work like science. You can't just like get you a few chemicals and clean the board. Oh, you can, but then we're talking about stuff that's beyond breaking up.
One of your other friends goes, "Oh, you finally leaving the mysterious girlfriend that we never get to meet?"
Yeah, well, thinking about it.
Okay, so what's stopping you from just going, "Hey, it's been real, later"?
I mean, is it that easy for people? Like,
yeah, you say, "Hey, it's been real, later."
4 years.
All right. And
okay,
and Ed like just dismisses him and goes, I mean, look, it's been a while. You can offer up probably some conversation points of like why it's not working. Do you want it to work, or do you want it to just not be a thing anymore?
I think she's not adventurous enough for me.
Like, could she be?
I doubt it.
I don't know. You just tell her like, hey, like, it's been great, but I need, it's a bit too closed off. I need to, go out, live a little.
Yeah, because I was like, maybe we should like take a trip overseas or something like that. And just like, nah. Not leaving the U.S. And I was like, that seems, or North America. Actually, yeah, that seems too much.
I mean, like, you don't gotta travel with her, right?
No.
Look, man, like, ultimately, you don't want to do it. You don't got to do it. I'm just saying, like, it's up to you whether or not you want to.
Get wrecked, bitch! That's what I'm talking about.
And you look and like it looks over as the game is actually this round is ended.
Oh,
good, I can finally play again.
Well, if you got good, you wouldn't get kicked off the controller so quick.
Look, Captain Falcon's hard, man. I can't get the timing right.
Listen, Roy's our boy. I
like to try new characters sometimes, man. Look, back to the thing that you're not good at, which is apparently talking to your girlfriend about breaking up. It's up to you if you want to say anything at all.
I had a friend who said just wake up and say, get out. I mean, sort of thing. Like just kick them out of bed.
I mean, that sounds a bit harsh. I probably wouldn't listen to that dude, but somewhere in between. And yeah, it's a 4-year relationship. I feel like just, tipping over the bed and going see ya is a little harsher than I was saying.
So what do we do about shared stuff?
I don't know, take your stuff. It's your stuff, right?
I mean, it's kind of our stuff. How do you get
What, you got a dog or something?
No, books. Lots of them.
Books. I mean, go to Barnes and Noble or Amazon, man. I don't know. It's books.
Do you not understand how books work? There's first editions and treasures.
Okay, then take the ones that you bought that you want and buy the rest. I don't. Books aren't exactly my thing, man. I'm a bit more of a digitized kind of guy.
Okay, well, whatever. This is not like sharing a PDF collection, so
sure.
I'm keeping the Netflix though. I don't care whose credit card is on.
I mean, people share Netflix all the time anyway, right? I mean, I'm still on my ex's Hulu account. Been 2 years now. It's 5 people on that account now.
It's funny when you see all the names show up on the front, and you're like, "Who the fuck is that person?"
Oh no, dude! The best part is when, her boyfriend had his own profile on there, and then it wasn't there anymore. Mac, you get a text message back from Hannah saying, "We could talk about the NDA later." Coming over? ?
Yup.
Now? ? And it looks over there. What's that? Is that her?
Yup. I gotta go, boys.
What, dude? Are you gonna go break up with her right now? Okay, dude. Here. An idea. You seem on the fence about this. So, what if you had some you time and not, just, growth off the side of the hip every time she wants to do something? What's going on right now?
What do you mean? What's going on right now?
She's texting you. You got to go. What's going on?
Well, it's complicated. I kind of gotta go. I'm sorry.
Do you though?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at, man. You don't live together, right? Obviously, unless you're doing the whole double life thing. You don't live together. You saw her, I'm gonna assume yesterday, because that's just sort of what you do.
Yes, I did.
What if, and just hear me out, what if you didn't see her until later tonight or tomorrow?
I don't know what role it would take for Mac to not go. Because he's considering this.
Look. If you're thinking about, if you're thinking that you're feeling a bit claustrophobic here and whatnot, see if she's down with it. See if she is okay with you not being able to make it tonight. You've got other plans that you made with some extremely important people, and he gestures over to your friends who are just now like digging into a bag of Cheetos. We've got, some serious things to handle. We still have to finish the model. It's not done yet.
Neverwinter's taking a longer time than I thought it was going to take.
Right. These are very serious matters that an understanding partner will concede. I dare you to just say not tonight.
And Max thumbs over phone.
Do you need me to? And he's reaching towards your phone. Do you need me to? No? Okay. Look.
Here. Take it.
And he takes the phone. He looks over the text message.
There's no text history beyond today. It's
yep.
always deleted.
Yep. Yeah, he's not scrolling up or anything. He's just looking at the NDA thing coming over. Okay. And the now request from her goes, have plans with just backspaces, have plans, period. Check in later, ? Or see you tomorrow, ? And just sends it. Doesn't even let you look at it. And then hands the phone back. You can pay me in gold or pizza later.
And then Mac just sticks the phone in his pocket and sits back down with the controller, looking incredibly nervous.
It doesn't vibrate or ding for a very long time. Your friends try to start up another round of Smash. It still hasn't. And then just while you're in the middle of things, it buzzes. Yeah. All it says is, okay, period. Next line. Think I'll go out dancing, period.
And then Max just oh, okay, have fun.
And there's not a response. Well?
That was good.
Independence is good. Being your own person is good.
Yeah.
Good. You know what's not good? Is you've fallen off the map twice now. We're looking at your text message and you're going to fucking die, dude.
Damn
and
it.
Starts hitting your character again. We'll cut back over now to Teddy. You've had a less exciting day. It's just been meeting, paperwork. You're at your last meeting before your Domitor comes in for the day. It's somebody you've very vague notes, but it's looks like somebody government wants to come in. And after a while, a man just a basic suit. It's by no means designer or custom, pretty off the rack, comes in, goes, "Hi, I'm here to meet with Carlotta York."
I'm taking Miss York's meetings today, if you'd like to have a seat.
Sure. Yeah, and he sits down, opens up his briefcase, starts rummaging through papers. Oh, sorry. Hi. I'm Nathan. Nathan Westcott. I am with the Forestry Service, and we are looking to fund one of the York Foundation's upcoming grants. And I'm here just to get a bit more information outside of, the outside of the masthead and the boilerplate on the website, just to see if this is something we can put our money into,
Of course. Did you have any questions?
Yeah. So got all the basics, when was it founded, et cetera. But what would you say is the primary focus of the York Foundation's grant giving? Is it mostly, is it mostly education based? Is it similarly government based? Is it pretty individual?
The York Foundation focuses on a global approach to community dealings. We like to think large, but act in a small scale sort of way to best help the people that's located in our state.
Okay, yeah. And this is Miss York's vision, just being in touch with the people of the area?
Absolutely. Miss York is local to the city here, and so it's always been her passion to make sure that the people here were taken care of and focused upon. It's too easy to lose that kind of scope of things.
It is. It's very nice, very, very help your fellow man. I like.
Yes.
I like it. Now, is it normally companies and agencies that are giving money? Are there private investors? How much of it is, if it's not too forward to ask, how much of it is from Miss York's own collection? Does Miss York do direct giving?
Yes, Miss York does her best to match any individual investor who gives us funds, though of course she's not able to match companies, government grants, things like that. So we do our best to facilitate, and that's why we only take a very small 4% fee off the gross.
Makes sense. And out of curiosity, how do you determine who receives these grants? How does Miss York figure this out? I should ask.
Well, individuals tend to have things that they're specifically focused on: schools, the homeless, orphans. But companies tend to give us more carte blanche. We do a lot of environmental work where we can. We do a lot of scholarship programs where we can.
And it's been going on for quite some time.
Oh, yes. The York family has been deeply involved for quite some time.
They're a legacy family, from what I understand. Got to be third, fourth, fifth generation at this point?
Fourth generation, to my recollection.
Quite a history of giving.
Yes, they're a very generous family. We're really lucky to have them in this city.
Definitely are. Teddy, can you make me a wits awareness roll, please?
Yup. Nothing sketchy going on here. Four.
This person has not taken a single note the entire time that you've been talking.
Mm-hmm. Well, most of what Teddy said here is pretty easy to find on the website.
But there wasn't even there's a lot of shifting through papers and showing at the beginning, but no indication at all of taking notes. Now, does the York Foundation, I should say, typically work with government organizations? I haven't seen much involvement with other agencies, and I wasn't sure if this is a rare occurrence or if it's just a bit more off the record.
Well, we don't operate off the record here.
Never an anonymous donor?
Well, that's a little different than being off the record. We do accept anonymous donations with or without their determination of where they'd like the donation to go, but all donations are recorded and forwarded to the tax federal company. I don't know what it's called.
Okay, well, that's good to know you're doing your due diligence. Not my department, but, good to know that we're not going to be running the loop incorrectly. I'm sure somebody would have a field day with that if we did.
I'm sure.
Is there a limit that we can donate?
I suppose that really depends on your branch of the government. There is a federal limit of X amount of dollars, but up until that point, there's no limit that we don't accept.
open-minded. I like it.
Yes. We want to make sure that we can do the most good we can with the most generosity people are willing to give us.
It's very humanitarian.
Hmm.
I was hoping to meet with Miss York to discuss all of this. Is that something that is doable, like at least before we start signing paperwork?
Miss York generally doesn't take beginning meetings like this. This is more just sort of to get an understanding of if we're the foundation for you and if you're the kind of donor for us.
Okay. You're the buffer before we get into the nitty-gritty of things.
Yes, if you go into specific contract negotiations, Miss York will be present for that.
It's good. It's good. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name?
I'm Teddy Abbott.
Teddy Abbott. Nice to meet you.
And
okay,
you.
You've given me a lot to think on here. And I think, we can be in touch. And he closes his briefcase, pushes himself up on the desk that's separating you two to stand up and shake your hand. Then we can be in touch.
I look forward to that, and she shakes his hand.
Okay.
Hopefully the next time you come in, you'll have a better understanding of what you're looking to get from us. You don't appear to have any paperwork or have left me any sort of contact information or anything like that.
Oh, well, I'm just fact-finding at this point before we make our next moves. Just
foundation shopping.
Yeah, collecting all the information that we can, want to be as informed as possible, and then we'll go forward. But I am very interested.
I look forward to hearing from you again, Mr. Westcott. Westcott, excuse me.
Not a problem. Good to meet you, Miss Abbott. And he grabs his briefcase and he exits. And
I'm gonna dial down to security and make sure that we get footage of this man.
Okay. Security responds in the affirmative. It's definitely doable. And that is your final meeting of the day.
So Teddy relaxes by not relaxing in any way, shape, or form.
Just keeping all the tension built in.
Yeah.
As you wait for Miss York to come in, rolling over your meetings of the day, strange offers both in line with business and above and beyond. Things to consider all around. And we've seen what Teddy's up to. We've seen what Mac's up to. After Nathaniel and Cersei part ways, Nathaniel, you head back to your Domitors locale, or are you off somewhere else?
I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna head back to the locale, and I'm gonna do something unusual.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock on the door of the West Wing.
There's a long pause. Is that you, Nathaniel?
It is, sire.
Enter.
And just a slight hesitation before I step in.
And the room is lined with books is an understatement. The room is packed with books. It is a book horde. Towers of books, staircases of books. Some are open, some closed. And in a old, moth-eaten, wingback chair, in a robe, close cropped hair, you see your sire. This is unusual, Nathaniel.
I apologize for disturbing you, Regent.
How may I be of assistance?
It's of great importance that I speak with you eye to eye so that I know exactly what you'd have me do. I have reason to believe that there may be a soul stealer in the city.
A soul stealer?
Yes.
Why do you believe this?
There is a individual as part of my group. He's a nice enough fellow. Seems genuine and wants to find a way out of the arrangement that he's in. He's like me, and his Domitor is, as far as I understand, in possession of a third eye in the center of her forehead.
As far as you understand, you have not seen this.
I have not with my own eyes, no. I'm making arrangements to perhaps have an in-person meeting.
Have you considered the fact that this could simply be a fabrication? After all, we have not seen the clan in centuries at this point.
Yes, I considered the possibility, but the genuine nature with which it was offered up, it was wholly from an ignorant place. I don't believe that Mac had any idea what he was divulging or who he was divulging it to. I've never told them who my parent clan is or that I have any direct affiliation with House and Clan at all.
Does certainly put a new perspective on whether or not this would be a ploy.
I don't see the angle, sire.
No, if you kept your secrecies, then you should be preserved. But the others in your vicinity, who knows?
I do genuinely want to offer him assistance, but he's expressed interest in breaking it off with his Domitors. So perhaps we could figure out a way, maybe if we call some of the old allegiances with House and Clan. I know most of them have left, but we may need assistance. I've heard she's very old.
Allow me to think on this.
Of course. And as always, if there's anything that you need, I've arranged for a couple of students to come and visit tomorrow evening, so I can make preparations in the main hall as usual, if that meets with your satisfaction.
Good. Mac, you said his name was?
Yes.
Perhaps I should like to meet him at some point before we make...
I can arrange that.
Before we make decisions.
Of course, yes. And as I said, he's wholly ignorant to what's going on here. Anyway, if there's nothing else, I will take my leave, and I will see you when next I have information.
He already seems to have kind of mentally faded out as soon as you said if there's nothing else. Just waves you off.
Right. Lost and as I'm making my way towards the door, are any of my notes getting used? I just want to look around for my work.
Go ahead and make me a wits awareness roll.
Okay. 2 successes. Wait, does it count for 2 when you get the little?
Did you get two criticals?
Yes.
Then it's doubled, so it's 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, perfect. That was I knew there was a rule with that.
Yeah,
cool.
There's a lot of paper, but you've had to do this particular paperwork so much, and you've had to rewrite things so much that you start to recognize the stationery that you wrote it on. Mm-hmm. And it is definitely there in several piles. It is hard to tell if the piles have been shuffled from when they were put under the door at the rate in which they were put under the door, but they are definitely not piling up behind the door like mail unused.
So he's not just putting them in the from the Nathaniel pile. There's at least a glance going on. There
are at least several from Nathaniel piles, assuming that they have not been looked over.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But hands have been laid on them.
There's ambivalent look, but as he makes his way out.
Yes. And finally, as the evening begins, Cersei departed ways from Nathaniel, going on a bit of a walkabout You've had nothing to do today. No tasks at hand. Your phone rings.
I answer.
It's a familiar voice, very light-toned, bored sounding, but underscored with a bit of a bite. And how are we today, dear?
I had quite the expedition.
Did you now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, go on. Don't spare no details. How are your friends today?
Well, Teddy's busy with meetings as usual. She doesn't give much up, but I mean, she works for a corporation. I can't imagine that would be too interesting.
Just to go ahead and cut you off there, dear, is this going to be another one of those you didn't find anything out, but you're trying to fill the space like an essay?
Oh, no, actually, I found some very interesting information.
Did you?
I think Mac's sire is Salubri. Or Domitor.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, you know, you've given me a grand explanation. And when she says grand, she's definitely exaggerating because her Dominator probably did not go very much into detail except for important names to look out for.
Oh, yeah.
She has the Book of Nod.
Interesting. So we have
Also a third eye.
We have a Salubri with some interesting unconventional leanings.
From my knowledge, it sounds worth looking into. They're in a relationship. Very odd.
That's a choice.
He's trying to break it off. I've offered my assistance. I mean, I don't really have a lot of romantic experience, but I mean, I typically know how women think, and you know, I'm offering my assistance to, you know, learn a little bit more.
Get closer.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
He's a sweet guy, and you know, I from what I know, she's ancient. I mean, she's been around a while.
Then you definitely want to keep this friendship close and help your friend out as much as you possibly can with this. In fact,
and of course, help you.
No, oh, yes, absolutely. I was going to suggest, in fact, if he needs any additional help, I can think of a few folks, such as myself, that would be more than happy to have words with this master of his.
I will absolutely offer that.
Anything else?
Well, Nathaniel is trying to figure out a better way, I guess a more less conspicuous way of getting people for his Domitor. He's a professor. He typically chooses students. I'm going to bring one to you tomorrow. Yeah.
Could always use some more.
I'm sure the gang doesn't mind a little snack.
No. Not at all. We'll have some fun with it. You did good tonight.
Thank you. Is there anything else I can do?
No, you take care of yourself tonight, and we'll figure out how we can help your friend Mac out a bit more. Just keep your friends close and keep offering up all the help that you can possibly offer.
Of course. Thank you, ma'am.
Praise Cain, dear.
Praise Cain.
And the phone goes dead. You pick up the next night. It's later in the evening. 4 of you are at a local family-friendly restaurant this time. One of you wanted a change of pace from the brew pub.
Is it the Applebee's?
It is the Applebee's. Eddie is visibly uncomfortable.
But they have such good drink specials, Teddy. Like, this is easy.
I'm
And
sticking to
unlimited
the
apps.
floor.
If anyone
got
in
a
this
certain charm
restaurant
to
sings
it.
happy birthday, I'm leaving.
Oh, I'm absolutely telling them it's your birthday.
Second.
Fist bump, Cersei.
Mac, your phone rings.
I'm going to have this place shut down.
Hello?
And you hear Hannah's voice. Hey.
Hey.
Hi. Where are you right now?
Applebee's.
Great. You by yourself or?
No. Should I step away?
Depends on who the other people are.
They're friends.
Are they friends you can trust?
I like to hope so.
Are they friends that could be helpful in, our kind of things?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Great. Do you want to bring them by?
Yeah.
Great. I kind of fucked up, Mac.
What happened?
I fucked up. We're going to leave tonight.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Thank you all for tuning in for this first episode. We've only got a few of them, so we're happy to have you here. We'll be back next week with part 2. We're going to go around and our folks here will tell you where you can find them, what they're up to, apart from this, of course. And we'll go in reverse order, starting with Ty.
Hello. Like I said earlier, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hey Tyler Gray, Gray. And you can also see me on TTRP Theater's Twitch channel. I pre-recorded some stuff for tonight. So if you're into Wrath and Glory, you can see that on YouTube, on their YouTube channel. And then I'm also, tomorrow night, I'll be in their werewolf game at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Excellent. Over to Jade. You got anything going on? You want to share?
Yeah, I'm Jay. I played Nathaniel. I'm not as prolific as these folks in the streaming world, but you can find me on Skin Deep, which I believe is on Vancouver by Night, hosted by lovely Lex, and it's a great ride of spoopy horror wonderfulness. It's a lot of fun. Check that one out.
Up to Prince.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice around the internet. I've been playing Mac, who is going to be a very sad boy before this is all over. You can catch me over on my channel, twitch.tv/DimplesandDice. Also, I'll be over Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time over on Vancouver by Night for Delve into Darkness. I play Banu Hakim, who might become Seneschal over there. Watch and learn. And then I'm also the storyteller over on Rolling D's 20s for Philly by Night, which we've had time travel, multiverses, and now our PCs are taking the lives of versions of themselves that are from a different universe and learning how to deal with that. It's been wonderful. So come watch that 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and a bunch of other stuff is going to be happening. Check out my Twitter to see all of that.
And now Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex. You can find me all on the internet as a redhead vixen. You can also see me in Skin Deep. And of course, you can catch me every Saturday at noon PST playing Cassandra, the dumbest Toreador you've ever met in your life. I'm going to be on a bunch of other stuff coming up soon, so keep an eye out for me, especially my limited Sabbat series, A Bit of Ultraviolence, that's going to start recording at the end of this month. That'll be out sometime in the spring, and that is it for me.
And I've been your storyteller, Zachary Vaudo. That is my Twitter handle, and my links are over there. You can also see me on Saturday on Adjacent by Night. But you've got your choice. You can see that live, or you can see me guesting on Blood on the Grand Strand over on Gaming FTL, where I'll be reprising my ministry, Baron of the Strip. We're helping out the local coterie with some problems of theirs and seeing just how much we can get done. Apart from that, I am going to be back with the crew of ATL by Night in March. We are picking up with our next season. It's been far too long, and we are thrilled to be back with you. We've got a handful of other things that are going on towards the end of the month, but you'll hear about them as they come. Thank you all for tuning in to Martlet Games. Please follow, subscribe, bits, etc. If you like it, follow them on social media as well. They've got a Discord server to boot. We'll see you next week when the sun sets or when the sun rises. Ghouls are flexible like that. Have a good night.
Bye.
Peace.